Okay, let's add a script to our canvas, and we'll call this the UI manager because it's basically handling the user interface. So I'm going to come down here to my assets again, right click, go to create, C# script, and I'm going to call it UI manager. Remember, once again, you got to make sure you name your scripts right away because we should not be renaming them after they exist. Okay, now that it is created, let's go ahead and double click on it to open it. And then up here at the top, I need to add another line. I need to add using Unity engine.ui. Okay, so that's going to load a class of methods properties that we can use to update our UI. And then in the start, let's test this and make sure that it is working. Actually, before we do that, let's create a variable. This variable is going to be the location of the text box. So the first thing I need to do is, using the square brackets, type in serialized field. And then after that, type in private, and the data type going to be text. And then the name of it, I'll just call score text. Okay, so let me show you what serialized field is doing. Let's just go ahead and save this and jump back over to Unity and let the script reload. And then I need to make sure I drag my UI manager and drop it on my canvas. So I'm going to drag it up here, drop it on the canvas. And then when I click on the canvas, I'll see that, oops, I accidentally dropped it twice. So let me remove one. I'll see that that score text variable that I just created is showing up here. That serialized field is what is putting this in our properties. And the reason I did that is because what I can do now is tell exactly where the score text box is. I'm going to take the score text box and I'm going to drag it right down here and drop it. So what I've just done is I've linked that script to the score text box. When I go to update it, it now knows where that text box is. So let's go back to the script now and let's test that. So in the start, let's do score text.text equals 10. Now if I try to do this and I save it and I go back to Unity, I'm actually going to see an error. And that error down here, we can see it says that it cannot implicitly convert type int to string. And that's because my text box is expecting a string, not an integer. We could use a conversion function here, but a quick, easy way to change an integer to a string is to try to concatenate it with a string. And when I do that, Unity is now going to treat this like a string. So if I come back here, there we go, no more errors. And now we should see that 100 change to 10. So let me hit play. And there we go. We see that our script is connected correctly. The score is connected correctly to the script, and the script is able to update the score, and that's what we want. So let's stop that and go back to our script now. Okay, so I can change this back to 100 now because I know that when the game starts, I want the score to be 100, so it'll set it back to 100. Then I want to provide a way to be able to update that. Now, this script is probably not going to have anything to update, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that. But what I need to do is create a public function. This is a private variable, which means other scripts like the car, the obstacle, whatever, they're not going to be able to update the score through this script. So I need to create a public function that they can call to be able to update it. So I'm going to create a public void update score function. Oops, and I messed up with my parentheses there. Got ahead of myself. There we go. Okay, so I now have a function called update score. It's public, which means other scripts can access it. And all that function needs to do is basically what we just did up above, score text.text equals, but then what's it going to be equal to? Well, I'm going to need to allow the car or the obstacle or whoever's trying to update the score to send the value to update it to. So I'm going to create an int, and I'll just call this s. So I'm going to now update that to s, but then just like we had up here with the issue of if I try to just update it to an integer, it's not going to like it. So I'm going to say s plus and then just the empty string, so it treats it like a string. So now if the car says update the score to 95, it'll just call this function, send it 95, and this line will then update our score. So that is all we need right now in our user UI management script. The next script we'll create is the script for the obstacle in the next video.